In this podcast episode, host May and guest Tim Gallaudet delve deeply into the evolving understanding of unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, particularly their mysterious connection to the oceans. Tim Gallaudet, a Rear Admiral with a distinguished naval career and oceanographic expertise, shares insights on government secrecy, classified videos, and the outspoken scientific community's reluctance to engage with UAPs. The discussion also touches on non-traditional intelligence gathering methods, government programs like Stargate that trained psychic spies, and the complexity of what might lie beneath the ocean's unexplored depths. Tim Gallaudet recounts his experience witnessing classified Navy video footage, such as the Go Fast video, showing objects with no known flight control surfaces or propulsion systems performing extraordinary maneuvers. These objects defied known terrestrial technology, ruling out U.S. or foreign adversary equipment. Initial assessments within the military grappled with uncertainty, leading to information being rapidly removed from computers due to the high classification. Gallaudet stresses that while civilian observers may hesitate to claim non-human intelligence outright, credible military witnesses and classified evidence strongly indicates something beyond earthly origins is involved. The conversation highlights the mainstream science community's consistent avoidance of UAP topics, particularly within oceanographic and atmospheric sciences. Despite increasing reports from Navy personnel and others, the scientific establishment has been risk-averse and reluctant to engage with this area, fearing reputational damage or paradigm shifts. However, the creation of a UAP Science Advisory Council, chaired by figures like Avi Loeb, signals emerging institutional efforts to rigorously study these phenomena. Gallaudet emphasizes the need for objective data collection and scientific inquiry across all domains, air, space, and especially the ocean. A key subject of the podcast is the ocean's vast unexplored nature and its critical role in understanding UAP behavior. Only about 27% of the seafloor has been mapped, with the volume of ocean water itself largely unmonitored by modern technology. Gallaudet points out that objects have been observed both above and below the ocean surface, including compelling videos such as those from the USS Omaha in 2019. These recordings show spherical objects exhibiting transmedium travel, moving seamlessly between air and water without the expected physical disturbances like splashes. This raises questions about underwater bases or habitats possibly used as hiding places by non-human intelligences, given the ocean's remote and concealed environment. Throughout the dialogue, Gallaudet underscores the exceptional level of secrecy surrounding UAP information, which even the President of the United States might not be fully briefed on due to compartmentalization within intelligence and defense sectors. There are speculated special access programs managed by defense contractors, intentionally insulated from congressional oversight, aiming to reverse engineer recovered technologies. The government's unwillingness to publicly admit vulnerabilities, such as superior craft bypassing existing military defenses, is a significant driver for this secrecy, compounded by concerns over public readiness and national security. An intriguing tangent explores the Stargate program, a government operation that employed extrasensory perception, ESP, and remote viewing to gather intelligence during the Cold War. Gallaudet affirms the program's statistical success and indicates ongoing interest in consciousness-related phenomena as part of the broader investigative framework relating to UAPs and non-human intelligence. This inclusion of paranormal elements challenges strict materialistic paradigms and emphasizes the complex, multidimensional nature of the phenomena under study. Gallaudet shares personal encounters with credible eyewitnesses, sailors, submarine officers, and intelligence experts, whose testimonies reinforce the reality of UAP sightings. Some reports include interactions with luminous orbs and anomalous underwater objects, sometimes observed at sensitive military and nuclear sites. These first-hand accounts often contain precise details like flight characteristics, formation flying, and the absence of conventional propulsion, lending weight to the argument that UAPs constitute a genuine, poorly understood phenomenon. The podcast explores the uncertainty surrounding the origin, nature, and motivations of these intelligences. Are they extraterrestrial, interdimensional, or ancient subterranean civilizations? The diversity and paradoxical behaviors ranging from seemingly benevolent to reportedly hostile actions, such as cattle mutilations, complicate the picture. Gallaudet suggests that the true nature of these entities may be terrifying, as humans appear not to be in control, and that their intent remains unknown. The possibility of dualistic forces, both light and dark, intermingled in these interactions is acknowledged. The conversation connects modern UAP phenomena with centuries-old religious and cultural experiences, suggesting that historical accounts, such as biblical visions, might represent earlier interpretations of contact with non-human intelligences. Works like those of Diana Pasulka, which study the overlap between institutional knowledge, religion, and contemporary UAP reports, frame these phenomena as part of a longer arc of human experience with the unknown. Despite decades of reports and some governmental acknowledgments, much remains unexplained, with critical data still withheld. Gallaudet stresses that the scientific method must prevail and calls for UAP research to become a national priority, encompassing not only technological study, but also the investigation of consciousness and related anomalies. By urging official bodies such as the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy to integrate these topics into their research agendas, he envisions a paradigm shift toward transparency and rigorous inquiry. The episode touches on alleged recovered craft and biologics, though Gallaudet clarifies he lacks first-hand knowledge but trusts credible whistleblowers and experts like Dave Grush. The enigma around crashes, whether accidental or a result of complex factors like aging technologies or biological limitations, raises questions about the life cycle and capabilities of these intelligences. Comparisons to human frailty, maintenance needs, and even psychological states like depression illustrate attempts to humanize and rationalize the phenomena. May and Gallaudet acknowledge the difficulty for the general public and even scientists to embrace the full scope of UAP reality, given politicization, misinformation, and cultural stigma. They note the evolving standards for evidence, the varying degrees of willingness to accept stranger explanations, and the challenge in reaching a shared consensus. The need to balance open-mindedness with critical inquiry is emphasized, alongside the hope that increased disclosure will eventually provide clarity. An unexpected but recurring topic is cattle mutilations, which Gallaudet finds particularly compelling due to detailed investigations by credible individuals, including law enforcement officers. The precision and lack of conventional explanations hint at systematic examination by unknown technologies. These phenomena contribute to the spectrum of interactions, some benign, others more troubling, that shape the complex narrative surrounding UAPs and non-human intelligences. Finally, the podcast considers emerging theories linking quantum mechanics, observer effects, and consciousness with the nature of these phenomena. This approach challenges materialistic worldviews and invites multidisciplinary exploration that includes parapsychology, physics, and cognitive science. The implications for redefining reality and human understanding are profound, inviting further scientific study alongside disclosure efforts.